Last week, Kyle and I gave you a bold prediction for each team. Today, we're going to reflect on each other's predictions and say smash or pass here today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Krabs from Locked On Dolphins. And we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'd like to thank you for making Locked On NFL Scouting your first listen every day, and a big welcome and shout out to our everydayers. You know who you are. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is brought to you by Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNFL or enter promo code LockedOnNFL for a white tech hat with any order. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you.
Joe, the hat actually is banging.
I like it. I like it a lot.
It's lightweight. It breathes. I've worn it on my runs the past couple of days, so that's nice.
Ooh, you're a wear a hat guy while you run, huh?
Yeah, because I just got a haircut this morning, right? So like it's tight here, but then like all this is really long. And if I'm running, it ends up like a horse's mane down on my face. And I can't do that. So I've done hats. And then the other thing that I've done is I've adopted the Joe Burrow headband.
I saw the tweets on that.
Yes. And I highly recommend the Joe Burrow headband.
Okay.
It is the way to go, for being honest, unless you have a white Bird Dogs tech hat.
I hear you on that. I generally, people that wear like a ball cap while working out, a little bit weird to me, but whatever makes you happy.
Not in the gym.
There's people out there that do this.
I know. Yeah.
It's some really like toned up people wearing hats. Maybe I should wear a hat while I'm at the gym. I don't know.
That's the secret?
We got missing link.
We'll have to do some crowdsourcing there. We're also going to crowdsource each other's hot takes today. And I'm glad we're not doing the AFC today, because I feel like Titans fans would probably still want to beat you up for predicting that Derrick Henry gets traded at the trade deadline. But the whole point of this was bold predictions, right? So you kind of go out on a limb, make some bold predictions. And we both did that anonymously. We each came up with our own ideas. We recorded on the same day within several hours of each other. And then we just posted one on Thursday and one on Friday. And then we took the weekend and we're going to formally smash or pass on each other's bold predictions for 2023. But you're trying to be strategic about it because like you want to win the bet. And you're acknowledging that they're bold predictions. So here's the ground rules that we came up with. We have to take 4 from each conference. And the person whose bet is being taken by the other person has 1 veto per conference. So if there's a really bold take that I made that Joe says, I'm going to take that bet because I think that's a home run, slam dunk, no questions asked, I can say for one of them, veto. Are we doing aggregate, Joe, for like the score count for whatever the payoff is at the end of this? Is that the plan?
Total. Yeah. How many you're right versus how many the other person got right.
Right. So if I get 5 right and you get 3 right, then I would win 2 of whatever we ultimately decide.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's an opening for some new products to be the incentive with the prize.
Kyle's trying to get deep in my wallet, I see. I guess that's kind of the point, but
well, you have a little skin in the game, right?
Yeah, it's fun. Okay. All right. Now, I mean, the margins could be huge here. Like you could be down 8 potentially here.
Correct.
At least.
So we got to be responsible, but
whew, all right. Cranked it up a little bit here. I'm a little nervous, but
that's
let's
very good.
I'm
very good.
Excited.
That was what I was hoping for. So we're going to start in the NFC East, right? And each one of us, we'll pick a team. We'll both acknowledge what each other's take was and then smash or pass. Fair?
Fair.
Okay. You want to You want to get started with the Philadelphia Eagles?
All right. My bet for the Philadelphia Eagles was 3 rushers with 500 or more yards. Hurts, Swift, Penny, Gainwell. 3 of them have at least 500 rushing yards.
And mine was that Rashad Penny is RB1 in rushing yards for the season. So Jalen Hurts could have more than.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I'm out of the running backs. Rashad Penny has the most rushing yards this season.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that because I agree with you.
And I'm going to pass on yours too because there's going to be a big time committee. So no smashing of the Philadelphia Eagles bold predictions. For the Dallas Cowboys, mine was that Micah Parsons breaks the single season sack record. He would need 23 sacks in 17 games to accomplish that feat.
Would you like my decision on that, or do you want mine first?
No, yeah, give me yours first.
Okay, I have Mozzie Smith with 3 times the amount of sacks he had during his college career as a rookie at Michigan, or with Dallas. So he had half a sack throughout his entire career. I'm projecting at least 1.5 from Mozzie Smith.
Okay. Thoughts on the Cowboys, but us both going sack.
Right. We had a lot of commonality between a lot of the directions we went.
We did, which is fun because we had no idea where either one of us was going to go on.
Well, I mean, I'm obviously smashing yours. I mean, that's unlikely, right? He would have to have like basically the amount of sacks he's had in his first 2 seasons and the greatest sack season ever. So I'm going to put you on the spot. You might use the veto, but I'm definitely taking it if you.
That's right. So this is where I need to now look at the rest of my bowl predictions and figure out if there's another like low hanging fruit one that I'm going to want to back off of. Okay. I'm going to let you have it.
Oh, wow. You really feel good about it.
No, it's just I want to have I don't want to I don't want to use my veto like I use my timeouts on the podcast and burn them all up in the first segment. I don't want to do that to myself.
All right.
I will pass on the Mozzie. I think that's a pretty good bet on your part, and it's obviously a bold prediction because of how little sack production he had at Michigan, but the pressure production was there. So I think that's a pretty reasonable bet for you.
And the last thing you want to do is spend this year rooting against Mozzie Smith.
Correct.
God, you know what I mean?
I would never. So we both, when I remember this one stood out for you because I just realized this is a pro Daniel Jones podcast. In listening to yours and listening to mine.
Right. Who knew?
We're projecting, I said 4,000 yards for Danny Dimes. And you said 25 touchdowns, which would be the total of his last 2 seasons combined.
Yeah.
In passing touchdowns. So this is a pro Daniel Jones podcast.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm passing, right? We're both projecting good things from Daniel Jones. I'd be surprised if you took this one, but maybe you will.
Yeah, I can't bet the under on that, so I'm going to pass on that because if I'm projecting that kind of passing volume for my bet for Danny, then it's not even like it's that much. It's 1.5 touchdown passes a game.
Right. But not everybody does it.
Hyatt, Darren Waller.
He hadn't done it in 2 years.
I understand that.
Well, yeah, year 2 with Dable, better weapons.
Pass.
Right.
I'm going to pass. Which brings us to the Commanders, Joe. Go ahead.
I had less than 350 points scored for a 7th consecutive season. So that would put them under 20.5 points per game. It's not high in this offense.
So I would need to say I think they would score 350 or more points this season.
Yep. I said under 350. So 349 is what I need.
And I said 2 1,000-yard receivers is what mine was for Washington.
Okay. My decision on yours is that I'll take that. I'll smash that. I think 2,000-yard receivers is rare, and Sam Howell / Jacoby Brissett's throwing the football. I don't think it happens.
Who else is going to move the ball for this offense?
I hear you. I think it's reasonable, but I want to put the heat on a little bit, especially because it kind of leans into sort of like I'm sitting here saying I don't expect much from this offense, and you're saying 1,000-yard receivers.
All right, hold on. I'm going to float around and produce this thing.
All right.
I need to see how close they've come to 350 points.
They haven't done
321, 335, 335 the last 3 seasons. So that was 25th, 23rd, and 24th in points scored offensively for Riverboat Ron. The last time Ron coached a team with a scoring offense inside the top 16 in points was 2018 with I can't take this bet. I can't.
Okay.
It's bad track record for Ron and it's bad track record for Washington, although I think we're close. So you could say Eric Bieniemy coming in. The offensive line's bad. You made a great point with that when you talked about it too. I'm passing on the entire NFC East.
Are you letting me take your Washington bet because you have your veto?
Yeah, I'm going to carry it with me.
All right. So I took 2 smashes there in the NFC East. Kyle didn't take any, which means you got to come up with 4 the rest of the way. Still got the veto in my back pocket. Kyle has his.
I do.
So it's going to be fun here the rest of the way. You know what's fun, Kyle? Bird dogs, man. These are the best shorts and joggers on the planet. I'll tell you what, they make you look good. I enjoyed it. I was up. You were down in Miami. You were rocking the bird dogs in Miami. I was watching.
I got them on the NFL Network.
Look at that. Look at that. Bird dogs. We really love them. They are such great design, man. They're cut properly. They make you look good. They give you that sculpted look through your legs. They're designed to fit slimmer. I mean, everyone loves this Lululemon stuff. Bird dogs, they do the exact same thing, but they actually fit better than the Lululemons. And the bird dogs have this really good material. They're made of not the restricting cotton, right? They have this design that is tremendous in terms of how it fits. It's called cloud knit fabric. It gives you that stretch look, but it kind of looks like khaki. So
don't forget the anti-stick sweat wicking material.
Yeah, you love that too. So it's summer. I mean, we're out there watching football practice. I mean, not necessarily the same climates, Buffalo and Miami, but it's warm outside.
I wish it were hotter.
Yeah, not me, but you know what it is. Get bird dogs. They're the best. They're the best. So go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNFL or enter promo code LockedOnNFL for that white tech hat with any order. Folks, you won't want to take your bird dogs off. We promise you.
I was pumped. We got Jalen Phillips to say it. I wish it were hotter. He also said how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of your week, honestly.
Yeah. So we got some bangers from Jalen Phillips. But obviously they wore the T-shirts last year, and it was I wish it were hotter in training camp. And then they went to Buffalo, and they did the I wish it were colder shirts, and Bills fans didn't have the context of what their training camp motto was, so they made fun of it. And
what's really that. I saw the quote from Mike McDaniel about the reason he wears the hoodie at practice is so that he can relate with the players, right? Because
he regulates his own temperature in the hoodie.
Yeah, I think that was cool. That was a really unique thing. I love that.
Well, that was one of the themes, not to go down a Dolphins and Bills rabbit hole, but that was one of the observations that I had at camp was listening to them talk about how they structure practice, how they script practices, why Mike McDaniel wears what he chooses to wear on a daily basis during training camp. It's really impressive to kind of them offering the peaks of there's a why for just about everything that we do. And it's just, they attempted to be strategic.
Yeah.
Right. So that was really neat. And it gives you the kind of that reminder of the things that you take for granted that NFL teams have the resources to be able to research and study and try to make educated decisions on. And we're going to try to continue to make educated decisions on each other's bets.
Where we got the North now?
We are the North, starting with the king in the North, the Minnesota Vikings. I had Justin Jefferson down for 2,000 yards.
I'm not touching that. I think it's we have 1980 last year.
Hey, we're close.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. I heard that and I was like, that's a good one. I liked it. Mine is that they have, it's a parlay. So less than 13 wins. So a lower win total. I got something else. Okay. A lower win total in Kevin O'Connell's second year than his first year, but a positive point differential for the first time since 2019. I know you're low on the defense.
I am low on the defense.
I mean, everybody should be. Personnel's not good.
So here's where you're kind of stuck. Kirk Cousins has a certain floor as a passer, right? Because you're sitting here and you say, okay, well, they lost Dalvin Cook. I don't think the running game is going to be as effective this year. Still think they have some questions on the interior offensive line. And now you have Alexander Madison as the feature back with, Dwayne McBride's the RB2, probably when it's all said and done, unless it's in Nwangu, who's a special
Ty Chandler, right? He's still over there?
Spare me. You have a player that I think could go for 2,000 yards, and they traded for TJ Hawkinson, drafted a first-round wide receiver in Jordan Addison. They have weapons offensively.
Did they sign? They visited with Risner, right? Or did they sign him?
Yeah, they signed somebody else, I believe.
Oh,
Risner's like on the no-fly zone right now.
He really is, man. And Ed Ingram would, I mean, I think that'd be great competition for him.
Yes. No, I don't know how much I love the fit stylistically, but at the same time, like Ingram's got to get pushed a little bit, right?
Yep.
The corners are a hot mess express. They reworked Danielle Hunter's contract, so they kept him. So I think that's a win. And they had a net negative point differential last year.
Mm-hmm. With 13 wins. That's insane to me.
Correct. I think they're a worse team. I'll take this one. I think they have a negative point differential. I think they have a negative point differential this season.
Okay. All right. There's your first one on the board.
The Detroit Lions are number 2. And I have Jahmyr Gibbs 800 and 800.
I like that one.
If you're looking for fantasy action, and nobody cares about our fantasy teams, I know, but we're here to help you win yours. Vinny Iyer, Geico Motors, eBay Motors. Gibbs 800. I think he's going to be a big piece of that offense.
Dude, I'm not touching it. We're listening to Dan Campbell talk about how they were going to pick him at 6. Come on, man. Like they were surprised he was there, like whatever they got him, like 12 or 16 or whatever it was. I think he's going to be a big part of the offense. Swift is gone. I think he gets that. My Lions was Aiden Hutchinson, 12-plus sacks, the 8th 12-plus sack season in Detroit Lions history.
Zig
Ansah has 2 of those, by the way.
I'm also not touching that. He had 9.5 last year, right?
Yeah. Came in bunches, though.
He was close to a bunch more, though, too.
He sure was. I think he's going to get it.
Ben Solak, friend of the show, was just out at Lions camp, said Hutch looks good, packed on a little extra weight this offseason.
You know it's good weight because Aiden Hutchinson cares about every step he takes.
Correct.
So, all right.
Yeah, I'm passing on Hutch.
Okay.
Green Bay Packers, go ahead.
Said top 8 offense in terms of total rushing yards, which would be a big jump. They were 18th in 2021, 15th in 2022. I think Jordan Love plus inexperienced receivers plus good running backs leads to a top 25% of the league rushing offense.
I mean,
total yards is how the measuring is.
Total yards. And so I was kind of sitting here, and I know I did for the NFC South, I did a team being the worst rushing offense, and I had a qualifier that was not volume. So because you went volume, I do think they're going to run the ball a ton. So I think they do get there. So I will pass on that. I had Keyshawn Nixon 2 return touchdowns this year.
That's a bold one because I think there was like very few return touchdowns last year. I think
I can tell you
Hines was the only one that had 2.
He had one and then ran another one back inside the 15-yard line.
So here's like the X factor here is the new kickoff rule. Does it lead to more or less returns? To me, if I have Keyshawn Nixon, I'm returning it every time. I'm not just taking the 25. I'm returning that. And if you don't care about covering kicks, I'm going to make you cover kicks. Brother, I'm not touching it. He's a special kind of returner. I'm not messing with it.
Okay, very good. That was one of the ones I was sitting on the veto for. To protect myself.
Even though it's really unlikely. Like, I mean, that's not – guys aren't getting multiple return touchdowns very often. But if there's somebody that can do it, it's him.
And I believe we both had Justin Fields passing related. You said 200 passing yards per game?
Yeah, I went with that just in case of an injury. 200 passing yards per game, which is a huge jump from 149.5 last year, 155 in 2021.
I did you one better because I said he doubles his career passing yards.
Yes,
which is like 4,100 yards. So there is kind of a middle range where if you do think that is
so you're
impressive.
Doubling it means he's getting 4,000.
4,000. Yeah, 4,000.
Oh, I'll take that. I'll smash.
I will veto.
Okay.
See you later. We did them bold. That was by design.
I think that was a good veto on your behalf.
Yes, I think it was too. And you had Fields
200 passing yards per game. Point being, we're expecting a massive uptick in passing production for Justin Fields.
And I obviously would not ever entertain that because I mine was that he would get 4,000 yards. So
all right,
that's the NFC North. We have 2 divisions to go, Joseph.
Let's get a couple teams in here real quick.
Yeah, we'll sneak a few in.
Right.
I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the worst rushing offense once again in 2023. That was qualified by me as yards per attempt.
Yeah, I think that's money in the bank for you, brother. I mean, Rashad White's the lead back. We got a really rough offensive line. There's no quarterback run threat for, you know what I mean? I don't think I think you're probably right about that. Even though the field's like, you got a real good shot here because
there's some bad
have to be
offense.
last. Yeah. But I wouldn't want to touch it. How many do I have locked in? How many more do I need to get? I think I've taken at least 2.
You have 2.
Okay, so I got to find some more.
I got to
take this one just because it's the field.
No, you got good options coming down the pipe.
All right, and you can't veto anything else, so that's
correct.
Good to know.
My veto's gone.
Okay, I said Bucks bottom 5 scoring offense. Total points, bottom 5.
I'm inclined to agree with you. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for the boldness of these, but I'm rocking with Vikings positive point differential right now. We might get to the end. I might have to pick another one.
Bucks fans are getting a little excited about Kyle Trask. I've been seeing a little buzz on the timeline. Y'all enjoy. We'll see.
Okay, well, let's do one more. I have Carolina Panthers is our next one, Joe.
Okay, I have a new career high in pass receptions for Miles Sanders, which 50 is his current career high back in 2019. I think he gets at least 51 catches.
I'm taking that one.
Ooh, okay.
I'm taking that one.
All right, there it is. Put it on the board.
Okay, so Sanders, and mine was J.C. Horn Pro Bowl season in 2023.
I wanted to do something J.C. Horn related, but I couldn't find a qualifier. I think you made up a good qualifier, but I mean, original Pro Bowl ballot selection, right? Not like 75 alternates. And
yeah, so that and the argument was you had Slay last year, you had Trayvon Diggs last year. Ramsey was the first alternate for Slay, and then who was the Tariq Woolen?
Yeah.
So it's like it's not like there's guys that are so deeply entrenched that if he plays to that caliber, he can't get in. He's just automatically going to be boxed out.
And he's with this nice defense. I really kind of want to smash this, though, because I got a good chance here. There's other good corners still out there. I know that there's some turnover there, but.
Right. That kind of goes back to your playing the field concept with Tampa and their rushing offense.
I think I'm taking this one.
You're taking that one?
Smash.
Imagine Joe betting against J.C. Horn in the year 2023.
I'm an idiot.
You hate to see. So we're going to be right back, Joe, and we're going to finish the NFC South and hit the NFC West with these bold bets.
Yeah. Look, football season is about to kick off, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to win all season long because right now, when you bet on a Super Bowl winner, you can get bonus bets every time they win in the regular season. Just pick any team to win the Super Bowl, and you'll get bonus bets for every victory. And you can use bonus bets on spreads. You can use them on player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and start earning bonus bets with America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon.
All right, Joseph. New Orleans Saints time. And I wish I remember what your Saints was one off the top of my head, but I don't. So go ahead and enlighten me.
I do, yeah. I have them as NFC North champs, but by a 1-game margin at least. So no tiebreakers.
It's a bozo hot take.
So I guess you're not going to take it.
I am egregiously passing.
Okay.
I had Chris Olave 1,300 yards.
I like it. Not touching it.
You think he gets that?
Yeah.
Yeah. With some of these, like finding like arbitrary numbers that you felt like were aggressive. But he had over 1,000 yards last year and missed 2 games
with better quarterback play.
Right,
dude, he's getting it. He's getting it.
Pro Chris Olave podcast here as well. And then the Atlanta Falcons. I have Bijan Robinson is your 2023 rushing champion for the NFL.
That was spicy,
dude.
Your best case here. Well, obviously, it's a great situation. Bijan's unbelievable. It's a great rushing structure. They have a good offensive line.
Correct.
They don't have their quarterback situation figured out, really. I mean, Desmond Ritter's going to be their guy or whatever, but that doesn't excite me. The best thing you have going could be this Josh Jacobs dynamic. Like, if he's not fully in, right, because the volume's going to be there. Kyle, I think someone. I mean, when's the last time a rookie running back led the league in rushing?
I don't know. All I know is Bijan Robinson's a special player. I'll float around and produce this thing if you want to filibuster for a second.
I mean, I can try. I'm inclined to take this. I think it's the smart thing to do would be to take this bet. I mean, it's just very rare stuff when you're talking about. Still got a couple of. I got Patterson back there.
Didn't Alfred Morris do it?
I have no idea. Tyler Allgeier's back there.
Do not care about Tyler Allgeier.
I know you don't care about those players, but I'm going to take this bet.
Courtesy of the NFL, courtesy of NFL.com. The top 10 rushing yardage seasons by rookies in the history of the NFL. You ready?
Yeah.
Doug Martin, 10th place, 1454. Number 9, Barry Sanders, 1989 with 1470. Curtis Martin, 1487. Got the Best Buy ad. Mike Anderson in 2000 with the Broncos, 1487 as well. Clinton Portis, Denver Broncos, 1508. Edgerrin James, Indianapolis Colts, 1999, 1553. Otis Anderson, 1979, 1605. Alfred Morris, 2012, 1613. Verizon ad. George Rogers, New Orleans Saints, 1981, 1674. And Eric Dickerson, 1808 in 1983.
I'm taking the bet.
It's been done. It has been done. I can't believe you're going to hedge Bijan Robinson. Draft dudes.
Wait, how many do I need? How many do I need? I've got 3.
That would be your 4th.
Okay. Here's why I'm not going to take it. I'm going to back up here. I don't want to root against Bijan Robinson.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. And your Falcons one was what?
A 10-spot jump in total defense. So they were number 27 in 2022. I think they'll be 17th. This total defense meaning total yards per game. I think they're 17th.
And this is a home run bet because they play the Bucs twice.
It's helpful. It's helpful.
Let me see the rest of this schedule because I need 2 more.
Yep.
Okay, so Falcons 2023 opponents. I like how both of us could go through 32 bets in under 30 minutes, and you get both of us on to do 16 teams, and we're going to go over to do 16.
Yep.
Falcons 2023 opponents. Packers, Vikings, Texans, Colts. They play the AFC South.
I was hoping you wouldn't do this much research. You should definitely.
The Commanders, the Cardinals.
They might be a top 15.
Dude, this top 12 defense this year. Yeah, that's. I'm passing that as egregiously as I've passed any bet thus far. Which takes us to the NFC West. You had McCaffrey over 2,000 yards from scrimmage, correct?
I did.
I had McCaffrey 1,000. So obviously it's...
Yeah. So does that mean you have to take like the next couple here? What's your situation?
I need to take either 2 of the next 3, or I need to go back and pick one that I passed on already.
All right. And I need to find what? One more?
You need to find one more. You're in great shape.
Okay.
Seattle. What'd you have for Seattle?
10 wins.
10 wins. The softest, most flaccid, bold take of all time that they're going to be a +1 win team from next year.
Feels like you're taking a lot of exception with my. Wait till you see my Cardinals one. You're not going to like that.
No,
one
I know. I had Jackson Smith and Jigba tops either Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf in receiving production.
I should take that, Kyle.
You should take that. I would if you were. I'd take that deal.
Yeah, smash.
I'd take that deal.
Smashing
it, and I can't veto it.
Right, and I feel bad because you said on the podcast, and I listened to it. You're like, I don't feel great about this one, but
that's okay. Then you would just get guilt tripped by the listeners if it ends up being like the difference in like who wins or loses.
No, listen, I'll give it right back to you. You can have your veto back.
I don't want it.
Okay, so you're hearing
it's 6 of one hand, half dozen the other, right? You're going to have one that I'm going to be like, oh, that's really aggressive. But that was the whole point. The Rams, I had Puka Nacua wide receiver 2 this season.
Taking that for sure.
You're taking that as well.
Wait, but I need a qualifier because I have Van Jefferson and Tyler Higbee. Is the tight ends count?
Wide receiver 2.
Okay, so and what's your qualifier?
So
what does
Tyler
that mean?
Tyler Higbee's not a factor here.
Okay. What's your qualifier?
Targets.
You think he'll be the second most targeted wide receiver?
Yes.
Total volume, so we're counting on health.
Yes.
Taking it.
Okay.
Smash.
And you had what?
Real quick, Van Jefferson and Ben Skowronek. Cooper Kupp as well. Yeah, I don't. For the Rams, I had bottom 5 in the league in sacks, which I think is really impressive if you have Aaron Donald on your team.
I'll take that. It's Aaron Donald, right?
Big Michael Hike guy, Kyle Krabs and Byron Young.
No, I think Raheem Morris will figure something out.
Okay.
And then Cardinals, you had Cards get the first overall pick.
I know. I really went out on a limb there.
And I had two wins tops was what I had for them.
I think we'll stay away from that.
All right, so I got to find one.
Yep. If you need a refresher, I have them all in front of me.
No, I got them here. 3 500-yard rushers for Philly. Mozzie Smith, 1.5 sacks. Daniel Jones, 25 touchdown passes. Washington, less than 350 points this season. Those were all of the passes in the NFC East. Fields, 200 passing yards per game. Aiden Hutchinson, 12.5 or 12 plus sacks. Packers, top 8 total rushing in the NFC North that I passed on. Bucks, bottom 5 scoring offense. NFC South by 1 game. 10-spot jump in total defense for the Falcons. Those were the passes in the NFC South. And then I passed on McCaffrey, 2,000 yards from scrimmage. Seahawks, 10 wins, and Cardinals first overall pick. Man, I hate my options here.
And I could really just be a jerk and veto whatever you pick of that. And make
you could. Again. You could.
I won't do that to you.
I think I'm going to take the Saints by 1 game.
So you think the Saints will win the division, but it'll be like tiebreakers are necessary?
Yes. Just in looking at that Falcons schedule.
Oh, okay. Well, they all, yeah, I hear you.
I'm sitting here looking at these games. I'm like, wow, okay. Like, and one of the things that's interesting that we didn't really talk about, but last week, I went and I put the coaching grades in for the roster power rankings that we did. And you know what team in the top half of the league got hurt the most when you factored in coaching into their roster power ranking?
Saints.
The Saints.
Yeah.
It killed them.
Yeah. It's a big X factor for them.
So that for me, plus the Falcons in their schedule, I still like the Saints. But to say that, hey, they're going to win the division outright, I think with the options that I have on what to take, that's the one I'll take.
I was thinking you might consider the Eagles with my 3 rushers with 500 more yards because of, you got some guys with some injury history there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But I still think Gainwell can come in and do that too. So there's like 4 guys that choose. So it's like, okay, is one guy going to play a third of the season and then get hurt? And then another guy play a third of the season and then get hurt. And that's how they prevent it. Like, were there any others that I was also eyeing the Hutchinson 12 plus sacks just because it's a reasonably high number.
Right.
But I don't want to root against Aiden in the same way that you don't want to root against Bijan Robinson.
Hear you.
So you took 5 and I took 4. Tomorrow we'll do the AFC and do it all over again. Which
is fun because that means we already have 9 bets, which might be like the most we've ever had already. And we're having at least 8 more tomorrow.
Yes. There's going to be a lot of layers to this season for us, which is going to be a lot of fun. So plan accordingly. Come on back and see us tomorrow. I'm Kyle Krabs. He's Joe Marino. We are Locked On NFL Scouting. You can find us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. We appreciate you guys for checking out the show. Shout out to our everydayers. We appreciate all of you who stay locked in here on the Locked On Network because it is your teams every day. Make it a great rest of your Monday. We'll be back to talk to you all again tomorrow.